Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Check waifu Montel. Is that you?
330, we here.
This is episode 330 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu is where you can get early access to the video version of this podcast, where you can get access to the Patreon exclusive podcast, The After Stories, where you can get access to the Bleach show, which goes live 2 days before this episode goes live for everybody else. Shout out to the Patreon producers. Explicitly, Cat the Pro from Chaotic Culture Podcast, Fear, Semi Sensei, Frozen, T Money Fingers, Dad Needs to Talk. Shout out to Dad Needs to Talk Podcast, Christian, the Archivist, aka Death Site, All for One Matt, Rob Stone, and then last but certainly not least, our guy Matthew H. Thank you so much for producing this and many episodes of the podcast. We truly couldn't do it without you. Mic Check Waifu is the anime podcast that's brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. We bring you seasonal topics and discussions. Couple of announcements to get through before we get into the show proper. First announcement is that next week is the winter preview episode. So in this show notes in 3:30 on our Patreon, or you can comment on the YouTube video, or you could message us on Discord, discord.miccheckwaifu.com to join. In this thread, drop your seasonal preview picks. Okay, that means one sleeper pick, a show that you know nothing about, that looks interesting, that you are going to force yourself to watch. Also, your most anticipated shows. So however many most anticipated shows you got, drop them in the 3:30 thread of Mic Check Waifu's Discord, or commenting on YouTube, or you can even message us via email, miccheckwaifu@gmail.com if necessary. But just make sure you get your sleeper picks in so we can share them on the show as well as ours and go through that. Also, the second announcement is that we are doing, and I guess it's going to lead to some more conversation, but we are doing a Frieren Rewatch. Okay, starting this week, the time that you're hearing this podcast, we're going to watch 7 episodes of Frieren every week until launch, just to get caught up. Me and Tel decided that we're going to rewatch the dub because we haven't heard the dub yet. We heard little clips of it, but we want to rewatch the dub, see how that feels to get ready for the show. So those are the 2 big announcements that we have for the beginning of this show. And now, let's start the show. How you feeling, brother? Before we get into episode of the week.
I am ecstatic.
Me too.
And that's because we're going to be watching Frieren. You already know. You already know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm amped.
Our anime of the year 2 years ago?
My goodness, brother. Yeah. I'm so ready to watch it. And then it's like, the amount of episodes is not like, it's gonna suck because I know I'm gonna want to watch more.
Yeah
Cannot lie to you. I know I'm gonna want to binge more, but c'est la vie. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good, brother. How you feeling?
Real good. Real excited about this episode, because we got some stuff to talk about, some important stuff to talk about. But as we start off every episode, what is your episode of the week this week, Tel?
I feel like same as last week, Dusk Beyond the End of the World. It just has this continued story progression that I will say, for instance, like this week, I had way less idea as to how things would have turned out this way, but I emotionally feel it, and that's why I like this show.
Interesting. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show, after the Get to Know Mic Check Waifu segment. But for me, it's probably going to be the same thing for me as well, with not Dust Beyond the End of the World, but my gift level, 9,999, unlimited backstab water in the backwater the long ass title one that we keep talking about this season. The Get Back has been so good. I'm just love seeing what I'm seeing right now, and it's just getting even better. I'm sad that next week is the last episode because I wanted more as far as like destruction and carnage, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna pay off nicely when it's all said and done. The episodes fly by too.
It's almost disgustingly fast.
Yeah, it goes by so fast. So if you're not watching My Gift Level, hold on, let me give you the proper title because I know I joke around, but
here you go.
We get a lot of new listeners at certain episodes. So I wanted to say, My Gift Level, 9,999, Unlimited Gotcha, Backstabbed in a Backwater Dungeon, I'm Out for Revenge is the official title. So if you're unfamiliar with that show, watch it. You will like it. Trust us on that one. But yes, the Get Back is going to be so satisfying. So that's all I'm going to say to that.
It's already been satisfying.
Very much so. Very much so. Okay. So now, let's get into some stuff. Let's get into some stuff that ended this week, Tell. You okay with that first?
Let's do it.
Before we get into some rebuttals to a rebuttal.
some rebuts.
Some more rebuts. Which is, again, great conversation. Shout out to Mazer Alter, part of our community. It's great dialogue. I can't wait to share what we got to say about your dialogue. I also sent that message to Tell, so let me pull that up right now. For this particular reason. But yeah, so some stuff that finished this week, Tell. My Hero actually finished. Now I'm only Polo. I am only in at episode 8 because I'm waiting for the dubs to be done because I just don't care too much to rush through the subs. I'd like to turn it on and just kind of enjoy what I'm seeing. So I'm waiting for the dubs to be done. I'm on episode 8 out of 11, and it's completely wrapped up now. I see a lot of people talking about it. Seems like they enjoyed the wrap up of it. But I believe episode 8 is where the conflict has come to a head. So I can speak up to that point. So, I mean, spoilers if you're not watching My Hero, which I'm pretty sure anybody listening to this is probably watching it. So
that's true.
I guess it'll be some spoilers, but I'm going to talk in general thoughts in terms. So it's not going to be anything too drastically spoilery. But my general thoughts is that the way it wrapped is, I just wish it didn't do. No, okay. Let me start by saying this. Whoever's got the opportunity to binge My Hero will enjoy it much more than I ever did. Okay. I think the bingeability of this show is there because of the terrible pacing of placement of backstory and the way they jump around times. It's very poorly, I'm gonna use a term for lack of a cinematography term for lack of a better word, but just very poorly directed in a sense of where stuff is placed and how stuff is placed and timelines and orders and in the way if it was poorly placed, it's terrible. A lot of unnecessary stuff that I would call fluff. The anime shonen fluff is in there that is unnecessary. That don't immediately bring any emotional brevity to the show in its entirety. Outside of like music placement and normal character building, like when it normally progressed, like I think seasons 1 through 3, perfect. I think 1 through 3 is brilliant anime. And then the rest is a hodgepodge of mess and carnage and just death. And the show could have ended at probably season 5. Okay. It could have ended right where it is right now at season 5. And I believe that it would have been a better series for it. And because of that, I do think, remember, My Hero used to be high on my list as well as Tell's list back when we first started this podcast, 5-6 years ago. I think this is still going to go down as one of the greats for other people. But for me, it's mediocre as hell. I think it's just mediocre as hell. I think the emotional beats were great. But again, I think everything in between just kind of takes away from it. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But I will say that the emotional points was definitely like top tier quality stuff at certain instances. Great moments.
Yeah, they placed those emotional contextual moments like properly.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, it's not even necessarily because I feel like I hate to say emotional, but it is an emotion. but it's like I'm watching it and in spots where like for other anime where I might not feel so, it's almost like inspirational. That's what I'll say. Is that a lot of me watching it, it didn't feel necessarily always sad or anything like that. It was more like it gave you this hope or whatever inspiration through the show,
which is supposed.
And I was
to.
like, and I like that for what My Hero is, right? I can see myself like Apollo watching this and being like, that's what you're supposed to feel, little bro. That's what you're supposed to feel, man. Yeah. You want to feel that. But there's a lot of story beats that get in the way.
Yeah, and then the way it wrapped, I think is awful. Not awful. Okay, now because again, I didn't watch all of it, so I'm at 8. But the whole way that we finished off Shigaraki, I think was utterly disgusting. I think it's disgusting in the sense of like just plot wise, and it rattled my fucking brain because the shit didn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay, it just didn't make any sense, and I don't care how much of a My Hero fan is, you cannot quantify the the culpability of what the fuck happened there. But I don't think they could have done it any other way, to be honest. It's like what else could you do? But I don't know. I just felt like it was very childish. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For something that has a lot of death and carnage in it.
Yeah. And I think that goes, I hate to say it, I feel like it aligns with who Deku is.
It's not about aligning with who he is. It's just I know it's a superhero show, so talking about possibilities is weird, but it don't like. I'm going aside. Spoilers, okay, big spoilers for the end of My Hero. So I'm sure you're already caught up, but I'm just wondering for the people who haven't watched it, who do plan on watching it later, or you know what I'm saying,
skip a little bit.
Skip a little bit. Breaking inside of his consciousness by throwing, what was it, One for All in there is stupid. It's just, it's dumb. It's a dumb method of fixing Shigaraki. Mm-hmm. Like I'm throwing these other consciousness that I have in me, in you, to break it open. It's not good enough for me. That's not good enough. Like, it just felt like he had nowhere else to go with the writing, in my opinion, to how you can solve this Shigaraki issue, because he's a fucking demon. He's an absolute demon. Now, is there a better way that could have been done? Yes, absolutely. I would have had like a big fight with both of them together against Deku or something like that. And then Deku talking to Shigaraki, trying to get through to him, and then One for All, and then it's starting to fucking mentally get to Shigaraki or something like that. And One for All is slowly trying to weave his way back into his mind to break through to Shigaraki to take over his body eventually. And maybe like he finally understands how they broke down how he was the mastermind behind all of Shigaraki's trauma or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he managed to figure that out via the conversation between him and Deku by fighting and while fighting, talking and discussing what's happening, while One for All is still there while fighting and talking and discussing. Like if Bakugo was there and they were fighting both together, it would have been cooler, in my opinion, if it was something like that, opposed to fucking throwing One for All at somebody's consciousness to break it open to fucking then be able to say, oh, I'm better now. Or
I ain't gonna lie, I'm very surprised that you'd rather have the talk no jutsu going on.
Yes. Like talking with your fist. I believe in that shit. Like in real life too. Like motherfuckers.
But that's not what I mean. I mean like the communication and trying to like save Shigaraki, so to speak, right?
While throwing hands, absolutely.
Because Shigaraki is 100% irredeemable, right?
Yes, I agree.
And that's my personal opinion. I think he's irredeemable.
I agree with
he's
that.
Done too much harm.
I'm just thinking of a realistic standpoint, like of what I see playing out in the world of superheroes, as opposed to breaking through somebody's consciousness through fucking throwing a power at them. It's stupid.
Right. But this ain't the real world. So I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with you. But I do think that like I think both ways are actually kind of hard. And I know that I feel like we've seen that way already. You know what I mean?
And not quite. Not with the not okay. I see what you're saying, because you when you in technicality, yeah, you have, right? You've seen it in Naruto, you've seen it in Dragon Ball Z, in a sense. But what I'm seeing is something different, and I wish I could fucking animate it myself and just show y'all what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's hard to quantify it via my words. But
because like I said, that's why I'm having a hard time, because I'm like, nah, Shigaraki got to go, bro. Like, if it was up to me, it ain't no talking. But I also think that,
and that can still happen.
This is how I view it, right? And I'm just gonna throw it like this. I think that what ultimately happened was that it was the attempt to not just break Shigaraki's mind, but the communication wasn't directly with Shigaraki, other than because the only time Shigaraki directly communicated with Deku through the throwing of fists was when he was connected to All For One. When he was separated from All For One, he had no communication like that. There was no communication. He had to be a part of All For One to get that communication. So he wasn't breaking through Shigaraki's mind like that. He was breaking through All For One. And that's how he was transmitting the power. He could only communicate with Shigaraki like that because All For One was connected to One For All. So the communication wouldn't happen unless they were throwing the hands and doing that.
I think that's a reach. I do believe that's what they meant to showcase, and you're right. I just think that as the writing goes, I think it's a reach to do it that way. In my opinion, I really do. I think it's, again, busting through somebody's conscience, whether it's One For All or All For One, it don't matter. I do believe, I am with you though, Shigaraki was irredeemable. And that's what I think should have been the turnout of the conversation between Shigaraki, Deku, and then One For All. Like, I do think they should have determined that he was irredeemable. And the reason why he was irredeemable was because of All For One or One For All, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, the other villain.
Yeah, he leaned too much into what All For One gave him. Exactly.
And because of that, he became what he is. And that's okay to write a story like that. It's okay to write a story where somebody is irredeemable. So again, throwing the powers at One For All or whatever, either way, what you said makes sense. I get it. I still think it was a reach for the writer to go that route opposed to doing this, but I know why he did it. He did it because it incites hope.
Right.
And that's what comic books are, about inciting hope. And he's a fan of comic books, which in turn made him do this method, which again, it very much is some comic book ass shit. Like,
it feels very American, so to speak.
Very much American. True. Very true. So I get it. I totally get it now.
I will say this, and it could be something I missed in the manga, but I won't specifically state too much, but there's something they do, in, so to speak, like the final episode. Okay. With Uravity and Hiroka.
Okay.
And it really, because I remember us having this conversation about how quirks, like how some quirks just leave you, like you don't have a choice but to be a bad person because of the kind of quirk you have, right? And Hiroka's quirk wasn't actually that bad the way they demonstrated it in that final episode. And I think about it in the manga, and it was like they did show that she did this in the final chapter. And it was like, dang.
I'm looking forward to whatever that is.
Yeah, and it's very simple. It's gonna pass by in the blink of an eye, but it also even makes me think about how Shigaraki's quirk was misplaced. How, like, yes, it was a bad quirk. It destroys everything he touches, but high key, he could use that quirk with learning how to control it to save people from rubble or anything like that. You know what I mean? And that is the thing that I think was that maybe they'll look forward to in the future of this show, even though I think it's done, other than like maybe some kind of small spinoff series. But I think that's going to be the future of the show.
What I think you missed, and you missed, I'm not saying you missed, but I think what most people miss is the fact that One what's his name? The bad guy is One for All, right?
All for One.
All for One. Okay, because it's all for him. Okay, All for One said he gave him that cork, so he gave him the disintegration cork. So he should have never had it in the first place. So we don't even know what initially his cork was, in order to even determine.
It would have been similar to the float cork.
Okay, yeah. So there you
like
go.
His grandma.
Right. So with that, it's like that kind of like everything that Shigaraki's done. It's completely empty. Like it's just all empty because it was all for one. And that again, that's why I just think it's so cheap. I just think it's so cheap.
And I agree, but that's what I mean about the control part of it, because the belly button dude, he gets better eventually, right? Learning how to control it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes Shigaraki's quirk so crazy, because obviously he wasn't going to control it. It was never meant to be his.
Exactly.
But like I said, if with the proper, like, and it also sucks because he got put in such a bad position with the dog and his sister.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was bound to be in a bad spot regardless.
No, he was forced to be.
But with the proper guidance, you know what I mean? It could have been like, yo, you really could save a ton of people with this. Like, we have an earthquake and buildings fall. Who else can save them but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Or somebody's trapped in the fire. You can get shortcuts to places that other people can't.
Right. Make tunnels or whatever. Yep. But that's just something I do think they brought to light stuff like that I was like, dang, I didn't even think about that when I was reading it initially. I'm like, that's actually pretty cool.
That's dope. It's dope. I think overall it's a good series, but it's just good. Is it top 10? Yeah. Nah. Top 20? Probably not. 25? No.
It sucks. It used to be great, man.
It used to be top 5 for me personally.
It used to be phenomenal.
It's probably top 40. Maybe. I don't know. I got a lot in my fucking list to even.
I do think he said top 40. That's crazy. It would not be top 40.
No,
I think that as a binge though, it could be recommended.
Yeah, absolutely as a binge. Absolutely as a binge. 100% recommended as a binge. Because
if they did like what do you call it? Dragon Ball Z Kai or Dragon Ball Kai, where they cut shit down,
or the with One Piece they're doing.
If they condense some of this and cut it into like 4 seasons, like even if it was like they made episodes a little bit longer, condensed it into like 4 shorter seasons though, 100%, bro.
Yeah, 100%. It'd be great. It could be so great actually. Thinking about that gets me excited. But musically, sonically,
oh yeah.
Top tier.
They do such a good job at placing music where it needs to be,
and that's where
it evokes the emotion.
Yep, this is what I would consider a 10 on a mic check waifu music scale or sound design scale.
Yeah, bro. they be doing it. They do it every single time, man.
Every time.
And what's crazy is that they don't even play "You Say Run," but I still feel "You Say Run." I'm like, I feel it in my heart. I know it's not playing, but it's in my heart playing when I see this scene. And it's like,
because it's always
it's not even in this season soundtrack.
Because it's always "You Say Run" adjacent. Everything is "You Say Run" adjacent. Like it'll be a string of "You Say Run" in there, and then it turn into some other crescendo that turns into something else. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and I think that's what gets people. I think that's what grabs people by the fucking heart and never lets go.
Yeah, you're right.
That definitely does for me too. At certain points where I just get emotionally elevated watching it, even though I'm disappointed in a lot of it. I still like it, because of that.
I'll also say this on top of the very good music placement. I did listen to the dub and I watched the sub initially. But listening to the dub, especially for like Bakugo's big scenes and stuff like that, they do have really good emotion in the dub as well. Because I felt like the sub had really good emotion too, but the dub had really good emotion. So on top of the music being excellent, and you throw in the emotion at the right parts, I was like, dang.
This is one of the ones where I'm very equally both inside the subbed and the dubbed. Like I watched entire seasons subbed and I watched entire seasons dubbed, and they're, to me, with the voice actor selection and the emotion, on par, equal with each other, in my personal opinion. Which I think is just when you have that much money, you can do that.
Fact.
You can get all the main characters you have from other shows be in this one as side characters, and they deliver. It's great. It's great stuff. Wild Last Boss finished.
Okay. Why are we talking about that?
I thought you said you wanted to bring it up because
I was just joking. I was just joking. I was being funny.
The Patreon producer has some thoughts on the show. He likes it, I think, better than we do. I'm not gonna speak for Till here because maybe he likes it now, but I still find it to be horrid, like really, really, really bad. And it don't look bad, but it's a bad show. And I think I would call it a run-on plot, like run-on synthesis. I think this is a run-on plot that with a lot of stupid characters doing stupid stuff.
Here's the thing, is that I do kind of like it, right? But I also do feel like it is elementary.
That's true.
There's a lot that it just does the 1-2 step on. It has no advanced attempts at trying to hide the plot or even be sneaky. Its attempts at sneaky are not great, and it's almost so blunt of an attempt to be sneaky that it puts the sneakiness right in your face, or cleverness right in your face. It's not technically that. And what Christian says, having watched the last episode, I get why they did what they did, and they still technically have the opportunity to do it. It could be the goddess's plan B of sorts. Still think that Dina is the avatar of the goddess. I didn't think she was for Luffy or the Demon King, but now hearing that the avatar is an option, it's become clear. And I feel like, yes, right? But I'll even say, because it is kind of tricky. Like I think Dina may just actually be a character, right?
Yep.
And if Dina is an avatar of the goddess, okay, so be it. You pull the wool over our eyes for that, but it wasn't a very great wool still. It was just a misdirection. But the show itself, and I still feel as well, I do feel like it still has potential, but the issue is that this first season was so elementary. It was so lacking in developmental context for the world that I feel like season 2 can't thrive off what this could have laid on the ground. Like, this could have laid a great foundation for season 2, and we could have been fiending, watering at the mouth, like couldn't wait to take another bite of the next season, for what this could have laid. And because I don't think the plot that they're going for is necessarily bad. I think that the idea that they're aiming for with like the goddess having her own goals, I don't think it's necessarily bad. I do think that what makes it bad is the actual delivery of it.
Goddess of a video game, huh? This shit is awful.
Well, but I'm saying we don't know if it's because she's in the
it's
game
a video
now.
Game. It's a game.
Yeah, we know that. But I'm saying like the goddess, like I think of what Sword Art Online.
Sure.
And how we had the tower and that whole scenario.
Yeah. It's just that. It's just that. It's so, everything is so, I think what the problem is Christian the Archivist and Montel are too smart for what the show is trying to deliver. Y'all are completely overcomplicating this. It's the goddess being the developers trying to essentially, and this is me simplifying it even more so than what it already is, essentially trying to develop something more. Okay, cool, perfect. I don't care about that. It's a game for one. It's stupid. What's really, really dumb is how do you create a character like Luffy? Okay, you are a player of this game and you're one of the top players. You're considered the number player. You're considered the number one player in this game, period. How are you this dumb? You're a character. You're the character. Yes, you are actually Luffy, and they sealed away some Luffy's memory. I think that part of the plot is very tacky and dumb. It's ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
Because it's still a video game at the end of the day, regardless of however you spin it. It's still a video game. Like, Luffy is not real. So the god is sealing away Luffy's memories. It's a game. It's dumb. It's just a game. I digress. But like, you're a top character. You're the number one character, which means you've played my BDO numbers, and I'm talking tens of thousands of hours, not just thousands. Like, I got 13,000 hours in BDO. You are one of these characters that are that good, and you don't understand the world at all. Like, at all. What's like? That doesn't make any
200
sense.
years
to me.
isn't enough to make that make sense.
It doesn't make sense because you were just playing the game right before you got into it. 200 years or not, the 200 years didn't pass to you. It passed to the people in the game. So
that's what I'm saying. I agree. 200 years is not enough for that to make sense.
Yeah, all of it is stupid. That is completely and utterly dumb. Like, you know who the big bad villain is. You should know who the goddess is if you're a player of this game, because it's in the handbook or it's in the lore. And trust me, if you're the number one character in an MMO like this, then you are the type of player that reads the lore in this MMO. So like, why are we being so stupid here? What in God's green earth says that this plot is anything other than rudimentary basic bullshit with nothing but cool visual effects? Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good show.
And I need you to understand, because I don't disagree with nothing you just said. What I was saying was that the plot itself, I'm not saying the plot, even the idea of what it is good.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that they could have laid this groundwork so much better to make it more palatable.
100%.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cape for this at all. I'm saying the effort in developing what we're seeing here could have been significantly better.
They had the capability to build some Overlord level type of shit. Completely missed. I mean, I'm talking they fucking threw a football in a soccer goal. Like, it doesn't work. None of this works, but it does have pretty colors, and they do fight a lot. So it's going to work for the people.
Do they fight a lot though?
They don't even fight a lot.
They be pretending
to
fight a lot.
A bunch of bullshit. Like, how do you not realize, like, even how the sub characters are destroying shit, so-called getting so upset that they're destroying shit around her. Like, it's just so obvious what's going on that it blows my fucking mind. Whatever. Anyway, let me move on from the show before I get angry. All right, let's go into what we discussed last week. And just to give people a reminder is that a couple of weeks ago, we had a discussion about, and it was a throwaway topic, a throwaway suggestion about, what if a show brought, and it didn't have anything with the main discussion of the show that we were talking about anyway, but I digress. What if a show had Naruto's power system, Bleach's plot, and One Piece's world? Okay, we said that throwaway line, and Mazer caught on to it for some reason. He attached to that particular throwaway line that we had. But that throwaway line did incite something in us, because he said, what plot does Bleach have? And then we went into explaining the definition of what plot is. Okay. So for those of you that don't know, check out last week's episode on the definition of plot in the conversation. Now, we continued that conversation this week because he rebut to my explanation of what a plot is. And again, I maybe he didn't hear all of what I was saying, but it did have everything that we mentioned that is inside of what the definition of a plot is. But he rebutted, and it was quite long. So I TLDR'd it. I put it in like ChatGPT and TLDR'd what he said. And this is what it says. It says, this is what Mazer rebuttal is to all of that said. Because we explained what a plot is. We explained that Bleach has all the elements of what plot actually means is. And he says, the writer feels, which is Mazer Alter, that Bleach lacks clear overarching plot or end goals. While they appreciate the strong character introductions, the development, and the enjoyable arcs, they argue that the series mostly consists of disconnected mini arcs where Ichigo is repeatedly pulled in to handle the latest threat, Early plot threads like the Ichigo's reluctance to be a Soul Reaper or his mother's death are included but quickly sidelined. Unlike the series such as Naruto, One Piece, and Attack on Titan, there is a clear main through line and objective from start to finish. Bleach is similar to DBZ, and they focus on more episodic conflicts and character relationships rather than single driving goals. As a result, it feels almost like a slice of life in structure. Keep that part in mind. Dealing with whatever issue arises next without a defined long-term mission for the main character. Mazer. Here's the thing. When I talk, it's gonna call for a response though. So I'm gonna talk to you like I'm talking to Mazer. So I want you to say yes, no, etc. So
okay.
tell me. Oops. We know what plot means, right?
Yes.
Okay, we described that last week. Let me tell you what I think that makes Bleach special, because Naruto and One Piece both have those clear through lines. Yes, you're absolutely right. But what makes Bleach special in the plot is just because it doesn't have a quote unquote long-term goal, like I want to become Hokage or I want to become king of the pirates, doesn't mean it doesn't have a plot. Doesn't mean it doesn't have that through line. Doesn't mean it doesn't have any of that. Now, I know you mentioned the mother thing and the not wanting to become a Soul Reaver thing. That's just side stuff. That is what I consider side stuff. There is a such thing as a reactive plot. And what Bleach is known for is having that reactive plot. And that's what makes Bleach one of the GOATs. Because it doesn't need to become Hokage. He doesn't need to find the One Piece. It's a reactive plot. So whatever happens in his life, his quote unquote slice of life, just so happens to be a fucking mixed up hodgepodge of craziness that he has to deal with. And ultimately, every time he deals with it, he saves the world, or he saves the Soul Society, or he saves, I hate to talk about the other arc that is absolutely the Bountiful art or whatever it's called. The Fullbringer arc. A reactive plot doesn't necessarily mean that it don't have a plot. It just means that it's a reactive one, which means that somebody's going through their life and then he reacts to the situations, to the plot that calls for it.
Can I give an example of that really quick?
Please do.
Right? So like you could say, a very basic plot is the king died and the queen died. Or you can say reactive plot, like what Polo is saying, the king died and then the queen died of grief from her feelings of the king dying.
Mm-hmm.
That is a continuation of what we were given as a reaction to what we were given, right? So reactive plot, so to speak. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
That was perfect. I just want to read this for you too. This is a part of the plot definition. A story can have a plot without a single long-term objective. Stories like Naruto and One Piece have a goal-driven plot, which has a clear end target. And then you have stories like Bleach or even DBZ, Dragon Ball Z, have a reactive plot, which is conflict driven and are arc by arc. Now, again, what makes Bleach so good is the ability to have that reactive arc or that reactive plot, and it still it offers everything that you want in a shonen show: action, character building, character development, fucking dread. Because some, like a lot of times in Bleach, plot armor. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows plot armor. But even still, you still feel the sense of dread that comes with whatever Ichigo has to deal with within his plot. And it's beautiful. It's such a beautifully well-woven story that goes through that and his growth as a character that it's amazing. So just because it's a reactive plot don't mean it is no plot. Okay. Now, there is such thing as a bad plot and a good plot. Mm-hmm. Bad plot. A bad reactive plot, I think personally, not Dragon Ball Z. I think Dragon Ball Z is the perfect reactive plot. It's I would honestly say up there with Bleach as far as reactiveness and with the plot, because it has that through line and it goes through Namek and you got the Boo, and those are brilliant. I think those are brilliant.
Right.
But I think Super has the weakest reactive plot I think I've ever seen, because it's just too chaotic. And that's a definition of a bad plot, as far as reactive bad plots go, in my personal opinion. But I mean, you can find something. What else has a reactive plot?
Case closed.
Yes, case closed is, well, what a perfect example. Case closed is another reason, another reactive plot. It's like, but I think that reactive plot is kind of cool though. Yeah,
I mean, I like Case Closed too, but it is one that is it'll go through its little arcs because of something happened, and then boom.
Yeah, true. But yeah, man. I mean, both are plots. Like we Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, they all have plots. It's just the destination focused plot versus the goal focused plot, or the situation focused plot. And I think what makes Bleach so good and why it was so well loved and why it became one of the big three most selling mangas of all time is because that situation plot is so well done.
And I think one of the really interesting things that we have to look at with how the plot of let's compare, right? When you say Naruto has a very straightforward plot, and Bleach doesn't have such a straightforward plot, right? You don't quite, when you start off Naruto, he does say he wants to become Hokage, but we have to do the schooling process, the development of that character to get to where he is to become a basic level shinobi, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We do the same thing in Bleach. Ichigo is balancing regular school life while also dealing with becoming a Shinigami and how to even deal with that on that kind of grand scale level, all the way until we now are integrating ourselves into the Soul Society, leaving the Soul Society to go back home and, like I said, be a friend again and handle real world problems alongside Soul Society problems. And in each of these processes, Ichigo is finding out entirely new details to the world, right? And when Ichigo finds them out, we are also finding them out. This is also new information to us. And then he has to go through development within himself even to conquer problems and he has his own little mini plots that he has to battle and deal with within these stories that are being continued, not even by himself, but by the other Soul Reapers or whatever that are dealing with things while he is handling his mini plot that has been a through line all the way up until the point that we currently see in the 1,000-year Blood War arc, right? Where
while
Ichigo
other characters around him are also growing and coming together and becoming bigger and better and strong. Okay, sorry, you just spit.
This is not to say that like, because you're allowed to have your own opinion.
Sure.
Right? You're allowed to have your own opinion. But to say that Bleach does not have a plot to me is crazy, because not only is a lot of it readily available for it to be digested, but when they give you the parts that are not readily available to be digested, like finding out that Aizen has been pulling the strings the whole time, which Aizen was always shifty and shady, right? He was always a character, but he did not always let it be known that he was
one of the best
shifty and shady one.
When you first see it.
Yeah. He didn't make it obvious for him. It was misdirection. He would put this character in a position to make him seem shady. He would put another character in a position to make him seem shady, even though they're on your side or they're on nobody's side. But the beautiful thing about the show is that when it does reveal things, it is pertinent to how we're going to continue to view this show. And then, like Polo even mentioned, the plot armor. There are points when, yes, our main character may have plot armor, but we don't know how he's going to get out of it. Yamamoto, I thought Yamamoto had plot armor. They made him the god, bro. Yeah. I'm like, there's no way he ever goes down. Spoiler alert, he went down. And that is part of the plot to show you that these characters were invaded by something that they weren't fully prepared for, and it pushes Ichigo to go and get prepared. It is reactive. He is reacting to what we have to deal with. And on top of that, they're building the story that was given to us a long time ago, but now it's actually revealing the layers and peeling the onion back for us to see it. So I'm not trying to bash you for your belief that Bleach doesn't have a plot. I'm just letting you know that I don't see how you think that.
It goes back to our topic from 2 weeks ago about the simplicity of the anime community think tank. And this is not a diss at Mazer whatsoever. I think Mazer's conversational capabilities is up there with ours and anybody else that is so ingratiated in this community.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Otherwise, we would not waste our time, because then it'd be a Twitter discussion, and I'll never have those with those people. But I think what people need to understand is that what not having a plot means versus having a plot, or a reactive versus, or destination. And that simple destination focus is easy for people to follow. Okay. Because I brought this up 2 weeks ago, the TikTok brain or Twitter brain. If I don't have a through line, and it doesn't have a plot, or if I don't have a through line, then I'm not interested in watching it. Or if it doesn't have a through line, then I don't care about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, if I'm not becoming Hokage, or if I'm not finding the One Piece, then what am I doing it for? Well, you're living vicariously through that person. Again, you can even call it a slice of life if you want, a slice of supernatural life if you want, because he's just trying to live his life. And unfortunately, he gets thrust in situations where he was, albeit from jump, plotted out, that we find out from Aizen all along. And then that was plotted out by Yawak the entire time. And it unravels. It unravels to this whole fucked up situation, to where this one kid gets used because of his lineage. And I think that itself, it's okay. Like, that's fine. It doesn't have to have that. And that's what makes Bleach so great. It kills me, man, because I think a lot of shows get misunderstood because of stuff like that, because it doesn't have that goal driven. That's why I love Slice of Life so much. Because what's Slice of Life? Plot. Does that not have plot because it doesn't have a goal at the end a lot of the times? It
definitely has a plot. And I'll even say, to continue what you said about the Slice of Life, I think about like Shiverfeld Night and how they did this great job of developing this plot to not have anything after that.
Yes.
Where you had characters and you had a supported plot. It just wasn't necessarily well received to get that season 2.
And I think that's a perfect example, Till, because he wasn't trying to become Hokage or the greatest swordsman of all time, or he wasn't trying to be he was just trying to survive in this situation that he was placed in Shiverfeld Night, to the point where, all right, let me show ass, and he popped off. It's just like, it doesn't have to be a goal. Like, the goal could become trying to survive the next situation,
the next week, man, bro. I'm just trying to survive.
And as long as that's told entertainingly or well enough, or even thought provoking enough, because what's the end goal of JJK? Does that mean that doesn't have a plot? He's not trying to become Jokage or whatever the fuck they got in JJK.
Collect all them fingers.
It's the fucking same thing in JJK. There's no end goal there. So that means it's no plot, right? No, it's situation focused. Anyway, great conversation, Mazer. I love and appreciate you for that, because it's always fun. Because it's an exercise too, right? Like, it makes me flex that muscle where we gotta break it down for the mothers. You know what I'm saying? The mother folks, so they understand where we coming from on both two sides of the fence.
That's what Mazer doing. He really just picking with you to go ahead and try and get you to talk. That's all it is.
Oh man, that's great though. It's great stuff. Appreciate you, Mazer, as always. All right, let's get to Know My Check Waifu Tell, where this is one of us rolls a random number, generate the other question associated with that number. It's my turn to read the question. Tell's turn to roll the random number generator.
Hold up, I'm there. Give me a second. I'm there. Just got to put a 0, generate number 7. Lucky number 7.
I have to get to know, there it is. Number 7 is, which anime is your favorite art style? That's a good question. Which anime has my favorite art style? And I'm going to use something from this season. I love the art style of my I hate the show, but my status as an assassin obviously exceeds the heroes. That art style to me, the heavier characters, like the thicker characters, or even
it's the lines.
Tales of the Wedding Ring season 2, or Tales of the Wedding Ring period. Just that art style where the characters have more weight to them, where they're not so they don't feel as a part of the world. What else does it? I just was talking to, I think, TK about this. Somebody about this in the Discord. What's that fucking show? Annie List. Is it under Anime Talk? Kilo. It was Kilo, not TK. No, it was TK. No. Who was it? We'll be talking a lot in Discord. Make sure you join the Discord.
Yeah.
Yes. There it is. It was Kilo, but it was Kogias. Yes, that art style. Like the heavier characters, the hard lines. That's my favorite art style.
I would say one of my most favorite art styles in recent date, Zenshu.
Whoa, that's good. That's good. That's great. That's a perfect one. Zenshu was beautiful.
It was diverse, but it was also, it was beautiful. It had those specific characters that just had that certain stroke, like you were saying, and then it just gave a nice variety and depth to different characters based on, what they were supposed to be in the show. So I liked it.
It's literally a combination of the exact one art style I'm mentioning, and then another of like a stylistic version of what I'm talking about. It's perfect. That's a great one. I just like when characters have weight.
That's fair.
Because a lot of times, and maybe y'all don't know what I'm talking about when I say this, because y'all watch anime, but you know that feeling of characters feeling floaty? Does that make, like, it's weird to say that, but you kind of understand what I'm saying, right? When you think about it.
So we watched the anime where it kind of did feel that way, but they were still kind of cool. It was like Idaten, the last god or something like that. Yep. And they were like that one. And then there's another one that's like about a deer or something that I watched so long ago. A little slice of life that was supposed to be comedy, like Hamtaro.
A lot of slice of life feel floaty. A lot of slice of life feel floaty.
They do, but it's always the ones that are just meant to be like goofy. Yeah. Like the babysitting one we just watched.
The babysitting one
felt floaty. It did. Exactly that.
Yep. Even my sleeper, A Star Brighter Than the Sun, feels floaty in a lot of aspects.
And sometimes it's important because they'll even do it with context, like what is it? The goodness gracious, the one where the girl is deaf.
Oh my God.
Sometimes that one feels a little floaty, but then they'll do those scenes where it's like the float is intentional and it actually adds like a different layer to the show. Yep. So but you're right though. The float is crazy.
It's crazy because like floaty is not the right term to use, but you know exactly what I mean when I say floaty.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It makes it lighthearted.
Yeah. It's weird. All right. Let's get into these spoilers. What we got in the notes here?
So I want to start off with Dusk Beyond the End of the World. Obviously my episode of the week. My episode of the week last week as well. Now, I wasn't mentally able to do any kind of gymnastics to come up to like this is what I thought was gonna happen.
Me either.
I had the feeling that yes, she was still going to want to eat Slay or whatever it is, Elsia them, right? That I feel like was pretty obvious. She still was gonna want it. How we got here, and mind you, I think if I had done the thinking, if I had really, really tried to deep dive and say, oh no, there's the nanotube blood. No, I didn't foresee this coming at all.
Yeah, because to us it was gone.
But I think they did a great job of showing that this could still be a possibility.
Layered it real well.
And not to mention that now we got the detail that a person from their time has transferred their mind throughout the years.
Soma. Literally Soma.
So, I mean, it is still a possibility that, yes, our characters are actually living in this world that they want to meet. It's still very much so a possibility. But now it almost makes that like less of a grandeur thing where it's like, oh, it's a possibility, where almost like, yeah, it's almost certain, because they would want to see how things play out. And
From
like
there.
she said, that this is still her responsibility.
Yep.
You know what I mean? She wants to bear the weight of it. So she probably would be willing to just say, if my androids destroy the world, I might as well see it out to the end and just die with them or whatever happens, right?
Yeah.
So I really like that. But Amaru, bro.
Yeah. That's where I have a problem. Not that I don't understand this, like, her reasoning, right? Oh, you can help me. It was with a guy that she was traveling with and who's been around for the 7 years that she was sitting around. So she known him for a long time. So she felt like she could trust him. Okay. Mm-hmm. He says this thing that that puts her mind at ease and makes her hopeful, because, oh, if I could just become an android, then I could then live with them forever, because maybe that's why they don't want to be with me, because they know that I die eventually. I get old and die. Okay. I get it. Then she goes into the thing with him and then found out that he betrays her, giving her those nanotubes that betrayed humanity all those years ago. And it fucking sucked. I wanted to not like it, but I couldn't.
Because there's reason, there's logic to it.
There's logic to it all. And because of the situation, and the reason why, the fact that I don't like it means that I like it a lot. Does that make sense?
You don't like it because it kind of hurts, bro.
It hurts real bad. Because I understand it all. I understand her point of view and why it happened. Because it's not like a wild ass boss situation to where you should have known better, right? Like it's none of that. It's just somebody who was hurting, who was vulnerable, who got taken advantage of, and it turned into this. And that hurt. But it's also like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, we got one episode left of this, and it's like, fuck. So
yeah, and
yeah,
you think about, she had 7 years of no validation of how they cared about her, right? And then they come out, and immediately they're just significantly more connected.
Yep.
And she's like, I love both of y'all, I really do. And I feel like you can see it in her actions from what we've 100%. Seen, right? She didn't just take care of him. She didn't just take care of her. She treated them both with that love and compassion, right? But they showed us that. What's up?
Oh, I was just about to say, but they can't understand that, right? How could they? They're androids. I'm not saying that they don't have the capability of love. They can. But
I was gonna say,
well, I'm saying they have that capability, but they don't have the capability to understand. It's a Frieren situation. They don't have the capability to understand the time that she put in, and the effort and the emotions that she put in, because they were entwined for 7 years together, but that 7 years is nothing to them. They just fell asleep and woke back up. So you know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's what makes it also just significantly more interesting, right?
Yep.
Because
the morality.
Akira, before that situation happened, before he found out he was an android, I believed he would have.
Yeah.
He would have understood, because he thought he was human.
Yep.
He didn't think that what sucks is that, like, I feel like it's a real simulation. I feel like it's a logical simulation. The fact that he finds out that he's not human, he finds out that he's an android, and then boom, guess what? He acts as an android. He's like, oh no, I can't understand that human specific feeling, even though you were just understanding them not too long ago. You know what I mean?
You was.
You thought you were, right? And when you thought you were experiencing these things, there was no separation from who you were and what a human was. There was no separation. You were just human. And the fact that they even talked about how Maru knew he was an android, because when he blocked the bullet, she realized. It's just like the show has this level of like interesting complexity that just is going to continue to make you think.
And I think, and this is my quote unquote, it's not a necessarily gut check, but this is just what I feel. I feel like Akira was going to say yes to her, to them being together, all three of them. Mm-hmm. But I think he wanted to clear up his situation that he had going on first, and then return back when he can mentally say, okay, now I know I was programmed to find Tosa. I don't have to do that anymore. I can refocus or reprogram or whatever term you want to use for this particular situation, and focus on giving you 100% of me. And that's what I think that's his goal. That's what his goal was before this happened.
So let's do another gut check then, since you gut checking.
That's all I get. I mean, I can't gut check this show. I can't.
Right. Do you think that Amaru can be saved, or you think she got to be put down?
No, she could be saved. She could be saved 100%.
You sure?
Yeah. So the other her that's in the tube sleeping right now, where they took, transferred the conscious. I think there's some tech that was created maybe by the new
Stop the hack.
That was created by the Akira of now, or even the Tosa of now, which we're going to probably meet next episode, that can fix Amaru. But I still think she's going to do what Akira was doing to stay alive all this time, or what Tosa was doing to stay alive all this time. I think she's going to officially roll over to an android sense, but in the same sense of who she is now, right? Like the way they created Yaguri and all the other androids, they're going to recreate her in that same sense. That's my gut check. But I guarantee you I'm wrong, because I've been wrong with every thought I had about this show.
Yeah, this show is crazy.
What's yours?
I think that's a good gut check. I think that's a bar.
That's what I hope anyway.
Yeah. I fear, but I feel like they're gonna hit us with a gut-wrenching moment and not make it redeemable.
Ugh.
Like not let her come back. And I hope to be wrong. I sincerely hope to be wrong. But I feel like this show, they playing with my heart.
Yeah, I don't think you could be wrong either. You could be absolutely right.
Seeing Amaru's face
hurts, man.
They did a good job of showing the instant sadness in her face, bro.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
It broke my heart. All right, moving on to Star Brighter in the Sun, my sleeper. Fucking idiot, man. He did it again.
Yeah, bro. He gets in his own way. You know what they say, 2 left feet?
Yeah, dude. That's a perfect explanation. Like why?
He not even breathing right to be talking like this. What is going on with him?
What you just said just broke my mind, because it's exactly what it is. He's not breathing right to be talking like this. So even if it's the girl, the one he's talking about right now is sitting next to him, the fact, and this isn't what you meant, but I just took it the way you meant this. You're sitting right next to the girl you're talking about, and you're not even nervous. You don't choke up on your words. You're breathing perfectly fine, as if you're talking about another girl. Doesn't even give her the opportunity to believe that it's even about her. So why wouldn't she say what she say? Or why wouldn't she feel the way she feel about this never happening? But luckily, our girl had the wherewithal to just fucking say it, because she's just like, this shit hurts too much. I just need to tell you, listen, this and this and this. And she's great. He's a fucking idiot.
Say it. Why you ain't say doofus? Where's the doofus at?
That's somewhere in here. I don't want to fuck it up. But yeah, he's a doofus.
Man, bro, hear me out.
He ain't even breathing
they put
right.
us behind her eyes. They put us behind her eyes and watch the tears well up. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why y'all playing with me? Why y'all playing with me?
That was amazing.
It's like, this was definitely a very high point of the show.
Yeah.
But I feel like I hate him now.
I do too, Tell.
It's because exactly what you said. It's like you did not permit her the chance to even understand you properly
at all.
You could have even let, like, what if the girl I wanted to talk about, or the girl I wanted to say these things about, she knows exactly how I feel. You didn't even give her a chance to even put herself in that place that it could be
at
her.
all. Yes.
We everybody around here know you talking about her, but her.
How could she know? There would be no chance in hell she would even ever have an idea. And just like you said, he wasn't even breathing right. He was so nonchalant and normal about it that that's what pissed me off so much. Because how are you talking about the girl that you're talking about? You're sitting right next to her and you're talking about it like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. Like it's just, what if I would, have some gazes at her
like you ain't been dreaming about this day since you was 5.
You see what I'm saying? And it's so annoying that he lacks the slightest bit of awareness.
I hate that this is a high point for the show and somewhat of a low point.
Yeah, it's both. It's totally both.
It's like here and then here. what the hell happened, bro?
It's so stupid.
And it was like it took her up the list so high.
Yeah.
Because it was like she just did it. She just shot for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She threw the Steph Curry shot out there. And I'm so sad that she ran, but I understood why she did.
100%.
Because she did what she was like, look, based off what you just said, I don't have a chance. But I just want you to know I really like, and I'm thinking like maybe this is a flashback when I'm watching it at first, because like you said, it's kind of light. It's kind of floaty. Yep. I'm like, this a flashback? Is this not happening for real? What's going on? And I'm like watching it. I'm like, no. I'm like, while it's happening, I'm just like, no. What was that? Family Guy? No. I'm just like, no, ain't no way.
Yep.
This is happening right now. And I'm so disappointed in his skills, because he was trash in that moment, bro.
Bro, it's crazy. It just blew my mind. And yeah, of course she ran away, like, because you don't want to hear him say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was talking about somebody else." That embarrassment. Like, who the fuck want to deal with that embarrassment? There's no other way, no other wrong. It flabbergasted me, man. I'm just like, he's so stupid. He's so stupid. And the whole show is not her fault. Like, the whole thing is not her fault. Because from, what was it, like episode 3 when he first said this, the same thing he said now? He said it this time even worse. But the first time he said it, I was like, well, yeah, she's never going to admit it now. Because she feels like, now we're just going to be fucking friends.
But if I'm not, and I could be entirely wrong, but I feel like she said, I like you, or I like you or something before, but it wasn't in this context. It was something that she said that would have made it a little bit more obvious, but not directly that I like you, like I want to be with you. Like,
she said, I don't see you as a kid. That's what she said.
Was it that?
Yeah, it was.
But either way,
it was that whole.
It's just like, bro's level of social awareness.
Oh my God, his EQ is terrible.
He is worse than like the Pokemon Slowpoke.
Yeah, he was terrible, dude.
The Slowpoke gets its tail cut off and don't even know what happened. This man could get his. He don't know what's going on, bro. He is non-existent in the world of thought.
What's the other homie name?
The one that's about to pick up the girl?
Yeah, Awakawa, his awareness is top tier. He's like, yo, he just says it. He hasn't said that he likes her yet, but you know that's coming. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he about to go ahead and swoop in, because, bro, and he's about to be so salty. I'm going to tell you now, though. I can't watch a season 2 of this unless it get messy right now.
No, it's not gonna get a season 2, but I don't think.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's gonna get messy either. I just think it's gonna be.
I don't either, but I need him. I want to see him suffer now.
I think Awakawa.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I think Awakawa's gonna console her, and then I think Kamashiro is going to run up and clarify.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but I'm so disappointed. I want him to suffer.
Me too. I agree too.
I kind of want to see him writhe in pain. I hate to say it.
That was my PC defender, not y'all's. Sorry.
Yeah, bro.
It was. It's absurd. It's absurd. All right, let's cover this last thing. Chitose in a Ramune bottle.
All right.
Or a Ramune, sorry.
So here's my thing. And this is just my thought on the show in general. And I feel like I felt this way the entirety of the show, just not sure when it was going to be delivered. I feel like this show has some darkness to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like what he did at the end of this episode was the first wrong decision he made. And I only say
at the
that
end of the episode. No, what? Yeah,
because I don't know if it was wrong per se, right? Like, I'm not saying it was wrong as in like this was. I feel like this was the first wrong decision he made because of how she ended the episode, right? And I say that because, like, okay, so it's specifically the fact that he did the yelling thing. When in thought, he was like, all I gotta do is I could take a step and punch him, right? And there's something in my head, and I could be wrong. Just let me know what you think, and you can tell me if you feel like I'm wrong, because I do feel like I could be wrong with this. I feel like had he taken the more defensive route in terms of defending her, it would set a tone that this isn't something that's going to continue. Whereas him doing this, where he screams out for help, had this not been the area they were in, this not be the situation, there would have been no other choice. And it sets the precedent that he may not necessarily be in defense of her in a certain scenario, but had he defended her, defended her, fought, or even pressed them to have to, attempt to attack him to where he had to defend himself, it shows that he can handle himself, but like it puts it in a sense of like, yes, she may have still been worried, but it was like I could almost feel like the way she would look at him would be different. Like almost more like not intrigued. How am I trying to say this? Like more of like, oh, this person will help me and not just let the issue persist. Because I feel like this issue persists after this still, you know what I mean? Because the issue wasn't rectified. And they just got yelled at.
I know exactly what you mean. But I don't think that's the right answer. I don't think the punching was the right answer because you punch one, now you're in a fight 2v1. How are you going to protect her? You're in a fight 2v1. Who started the fight? People around are going to say, he hit him. Okay, so he started this fight. So now he's the bad guy. So like that would have been the wrong answer. However, what you're saying is also right because then the problem does persist when he does the yelling and stuff. So both answers was wrong. He just took the safest route. The safest route is not getting into a scuffle with 2v1 where you have her, who's going to protect her? You know what I'm saying? Who's going to, even if she ran away, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole other hodgepodge of mess that you have to think about if he threw the first punch and knocked his ass out. Even though we all, me, you, Crystal, and everybody else watching, Chitose, wanted him to punch him in his fucking face. Like we all wanted that for sure, but it wasn't the right answer. However, I do think you're also right about him calling for help because again, it just escalates the situation to make them more aggressive. Because the minute Chitose is not around and they see her, or because obviously they are going to see her because they've been following her, it becomes something more worse. I do think, though, this is two sides of two different coins. I think that older dude is somebody completely different. I don't think he's the stalker. I think the stalker.
Same.
I think the stalker is the kid from the school that walked up to him during lunchtime. I think he's the one that was taking the pictures because you remember when they were on the phone with each other, he looked like he was outside somewhere. So I'm thinking it's the other kid who wants to get to know her. And I'm starting to think that he knows that. That's why he's giving them all this information willingly because our main character Chitose has not shown any lack of awareness whatsoever this entire series. And for him to just be like, oh yeah, to still tell this straight up stranger, oh yeah, we're fake going out because of this. Oh, why would you just offer up that information to somebody you know nothing about? So it has to be bait in some way, some shape or form. But yeah, I don't think those guys was a stalker. I just think they're guys who heard rumors about her being easy and they're just trying to capitalize or something. And obviously they had some kind of dialogue or situation around her because she's terrified of them. So
they've been bothering her before. Yeah,
exactly.
But yeah, and that's why I said I wanted to say that because I'm not convinced that hitting them was the right decision. I'm just convinced that the issue persists, right? But because even if they did fight, the issue could persist. Yeah. Right. You know what I mean? True. Now they just bring instead of 2 guys, they bring in 4. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so regardless, it would have never been the right thing. I just think that the way that she would have perceived him in defending her would have been different.
I don't think
because she was still winced up, scared, crying. And yes, had he defended her, and like I said, this is like a flip of the coin because 2v1, everybody ain't doing a 2v1 successfully, right?
Right.
So had this be a 2v1 situation and something still had happened to her, then yeah, she's still gonna be in a worse situation now. So I agree with that, right? That's not my thinking. It's my thinking is that like, having seen him as a defender and not as someone who's being defended as well, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
Because he helped her, but he's still being defended in this situation too.
Yeah, I don't. I think you're overstating it, right? I don't think.
Yeah.
The way she perceives him is always going to remain the way she perceives him, which is he's Chitose. He's handsome. He's always looks out for others. He always do what's best for the other people, even if it costs him himself or his own a look or whatever. He's going to do what's best for other people opposed to himself. So she's always going to believe that about him.
Yeah, so she's winced up just because of the trauma of the situation.
The trauma of the situation.
How you see it.
Exactly. Well, for whoever these guys are, she just feels this scared because it obviously was a situation to where these guys persistently pursued her. She denied them. She denied them. She denied them. She denied them to the point where she had to say she had a boyfriend. And she feels super uncomfortable. So he must have put his hands on her at one point. Something like that. But yeah, regardless, it's not going to stop her trauma, even if he beat their ass. And yeah, I think that still would have totally made it even worse because he would have looked like the bad guy to the public in a society where fighting is perceived as delinquent, and it just would have been a whole mess. But I love it though.
Yeah. I could be entirely wrong with this as well, and I probably am, but I don't know why I got a slight feeling that girl, I can't remember her name, could have also been the stalker just because of how they were like competitive, but they've been competitive in other episodes as well. Yeah. So I don't want to necessarily just say that, but that's what made me feel that she does have a kinhood, a friendship with them, and she could be feeling like he's getting in the way. But I'm also like, that was why I was also like, that could be a thing, but I don't think that's it. That's just me throwing it out there. Yeah, I definitely think I think the stalker is actually the other guy that he was talking to. Yeah. Because like you said, Chitose has not dropped the ball once.
No way, right? Especially like for something so obvious, like this guy, I heard you was dating her. I don't know who you are. You're a stranger. You just came up to our lunch table. You tried to take me away from eating lunch with my friend. And you're so adamant about getting to know her. Chitose hasn't been obvious, but this is obvious, right? Am I misreading it?
I mean, he don't miss.
So yeah, there's got to be more, and I can't wait for more, which is going to be 2 days from now. Oh, so the day this episode goes live. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you are a Patreon supporter, just like all of our Patreon supporters, you can get this video version early, a day early, usually. I'm at Polo Born Fly on all social media.
I'm at King Taliano on social media.
Make sure you follow our YouTube at youtube.com/@MightCheckWaifu. Subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe and leave a video and like the comment. We just hit 100 subscribers on Respect. We had 117. 10,000 views already. Pretty good. Make sure you subscribe there too. But as always, Mike check.
Peace out.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?